Welcome back to the deep dive. Today, we have quite a stack of sources in front of us. It's a mix of some pretty explosive independent reporting, official state rebuttals, a lot of political noise, and legal filings.
Yeah, and it's all centered on this massive, really fast-moving political controversy up in Minnesota.
It's a genuinely complex situation. We're looking at news reports about, alleged misuse of state funds and childcare programs.
But it's also combined with these highly viral social media posts and then this dramatic escalation of formal criminal complaint.
So our mission today is really to cut through all that noise. We're going to unpack this dispute over alleged fraud in Minnesota state-funded daycare centers. We'll get into the viral origins, the specific legal moves, and the national fallout.
It's a perfect storm, really. Social media, state governance, and federal oversight all colliding.
And the hook here, the thing that really grabs you, is that this has gone way beyond just an investigation.
Exactly. A criminal complaint has now been formally filed against the governor of Minnesota, Tim Walz, related to all of this. That detail alone tells you this is not some ordinary story.
Okay, let's unpack this. Before we even get to the legal complaint, we have to start at the beginning. Because this story, it didn't come from a state audit or a big newspaper.
No, not at all. It came from a 42-minute video that just went absolutely nuclear online.
So what exactly sparked this whole thing?
The catalyst was an independent journalist, a guy named Nick Shirley. He posted this long video showing him visiting what he claimed were multiple state-subsidized child care facilities.
And these are centers getting public money through Minnesota's Child Care Assistance Program, right? CCCAP.
That's it. It's a program designed to help low-income families get care for their kids.
And the power of the video wasn't just him talking. It was what he was showing. What was the main visual claim?
The assertion was brutally simple. These multi-million-dollar facilities appeared to be completely inactive.
So empty.
It's empty. The video showed empty parking lots, darkened windows, what looked like empty classrooms, all during what should have been normal business hours. The implication was pretty clear.
That millions of taxpayer dollars were flowing to ghost facilities.
Right, facilities that weren't actually providing any care. And seeing these buildings, which are supposedly getting huge public payouts, just sit there looking abandoned. That's a powerful image.
The video covered a few different places, but one center really became the poster child for the whole thing.
That would be the Quality Learning Center in Minneapolis. It was featured really prominently in the footage, and it looked completely empty.
And sources say this one center was getting millions in state funding.
Reportedly, yes, millions. And so that video featuring that center and others, it just exploded. It got millions of views on YouTube, on X, and it instantly nationalized what started as a local issue.
The second a story goes viral like that, it just jumps the line. It goes right past the slow machinery of a state investigation and lands on the desks of, national commentators and even federal agencies.
It totally shifts the conversation. It goes from, is there fraud, to why did state oversight fail so spectacularly?
And that pressure is what leads us directly to the next step, the formal legal escalation. It's one thing to post a video, but it's a whole other level to file a criminal complaint against a sitting governor.
Oh, absolutely.
Here's where it gets really interesting. Tell us about this filing. Who was behind it?
So the complaint was filed by an associate of Nick Shirley, the journalist. He's identified only as David. And David announced the filing about 3 or 4 weeks before they made this very high-profile return visit to the Quality Learning Center on December 30th, 2025.
Okay, so that's a critical detail for anyone trying to follow this. The complaint wasn't filed by a district attorney or even a victim.
No, it's a private citizen and one who's directly associated with the person who broke the story. It's highly unconventional.
And the complaint is really specific, right? It's not just a general accusation.
It's very targeted. David told reporters the filing cites a specific piece of legislation, Minnesota Statute 3.971, Subdivision 9. Now, for you listening, this is where the legal distinction becomes absolutely vital.
Okay, let's pause on that, because that statute is the whole engine here. Is the governor being accused of actual fraud? Is the claim he stole money?
No. And that's the key difference. The complaint doesn't allege Governor Walz committed direct fraud or theft.
So what does that statute do?
That particular law deals with the failure of state officials to implement proper program controls and internal accountability. So it's designed to hold officials responsible for, catastrophic administrative incompetence or negligence in managing taxpayer money, not for criminal intent.
So the allegation against Walz is that he permitted the fraud to happen because the state's controls were so bad.
Exactly. It's an accountability tool aimed right at the oversight function of his office. David's motivation was pretty clear when he talked to reporters. He said he believes Walz deserves it for letting this situation go on under his watch.
It's framing the whole thing as a failure of governance and using a kind of a side door statute to force that political accountability.
Precisely. And that return visit you mentioned, the one on December 30th, that was all designed to maximize the political pressure.
Yeah, they didn't exactly go quietly.
Not at all. It was pure political theater. They were wearing matching sweatshirts that read 1-800-for-fraud.
And they even put the misspelled name of the center on there, right? Quality Learing Center.
Yep. They leaned right into it, a detail from the original video's signage. It's a masterclass in independent political messaging, really. It keeps the story highly shareable. Shirley even posted on X, "We out here learning and stopping fraud."
It just shows how social media is driving this whole narrative long before state investigators have even finished their work.
It's remarkable the amount of pressure one viral video can create. It completely flips the script. Usually an investigation leads to a media report. Here, the media report is the investigation.
But wait, if the state officials have their own story, and we'll get to that, how much legal traction can a complaint like this really have? A complaint filed by an associate of the accuser using a statute about oversight failure, it feels more political than legal.
And that's exactly why the official counter-narrative is so important. This raises a big question.
What are the state regulators actually saying about that video? Because they haven't been quiet.
No, they haven't. State officials have been consistently disputing the fraud allegations, often directly contradicting what's in that video.
Oh, so?
Well, regulators from the Minnesota Department of Children, Youth, and Families have said publicly that they did their own prior unannounced inspections of those facilities.
Including the Quality Learning Center.
Including that one. And they say they found no evidence of fraud. They maintain that children were present and that activity was happening during their inspections.
Okay, so that's a direct conflict. The video shows an empty building. The state says its own investigators found kids there. How do they explain that discrepancy?
Well, in a state program like this, unannounced inspections are the gold standard for checking against fraud. Investigators just show up, they verify enrollment sheets against the kids who are actually there, check staffing. The state's position is that there are official records from those checks. They outweigh the video from one specific day.
What about the manager of the Quality Learning Center himself, a guy named Ibrahim Ali? What was his defense?
Ali offered a really crucial defense about the timing. He claimed the viral video totally misrepresented his operations because they filmed the building outside of its posted hours. Yeah. He adamantly denies any improper billing or being inactive.
And that timing detail is literally everything.
Yeah.
If they filmed at 7:30 p.m. after it closed, an empty parking lot proves nothing.
Exactly.
But if they filmed at 10 a.m. on a Tuesday, well, that proves everything. It brings the whole thing back to a factual dispute that needs real evidence, not just viral views.
And that's where the state investigation is right now. State officials are maintaining that no formal findings of widespread daycare fraud have been substantiated by their teams yet. They're trying to stress the rigor of their own procedures.
But they can't just ignore the public outcry. Not after millions of people saw that video. So what is the state doing now?
Well, they've confirmed that because of all the public concern, additional reviews and inspections are underway. They're going above and beyond their normal checks.
They're in a tough spot. They have to prove a negative, basically. Prove that an empty building in a video doesn't mean the whole system is corrupt.
Right, while also trying to manage the political fallout from that citizen complaint. It's a classic feedback loop. The state responds to the pressure from the video, which just gives the video's claims more legitimacy in the public eye.
And this loop is what pushed the whole controversy way beyond Minnesota's borders.
Absolutely. The moment that video went viral, it became a national political talking point.
We saw immediate amplification, mostly from conservative commentators and Republican lawmakers. They just seized on this narrative of, lax state government, misuse of federal funds.
We're talking big names cited in the sources. Representative Mike Lawler, Donald Trump Jr., even Elon Musk. They were all amplifying the reports and demanding accountability from Governor Walz.
And with that kind of amplification, federal intervention was pretty much inevitable. Even with Walz denying any wrongdoing, the political heat got so intense it triggered federal action.
A lot of federal action.
So which agencies got involved and what exactly are they looking into?
The reports say 2 major federal agencies are now actively investigating: the Department of Homeland Security, DHS, and the FBI.
Wow.
Yeah, their involvement signals this could be about more than just bad paperwork. They're looking at things like organized fraud, money laundering, or misuse of the federal block grant funds that flow through state programs like CCCAT.
And when DHS and the FBI show up, the whole game changes. But the federal pressure wasn't just investigative, was it? There was also a direct financial action.
Yes. There was a significant financial intervention from the Trump administration. Amid all the scrutiny, they took action to freeze certain federal child care payments that were headed to Minnesota.
That's massive. How much money are we talking about here? And how can the federal government just turn off the tap like that?
The amount is substantial. We're talking tens of millions of dollars. And the federal government has the authority to do it because federal block grants, which fund a huge chunk of CTAP, are tied to state compliance.
So if there are credible allegations of large-scale fraud,
The feds can freeze the payments. It effectively forces the state to prove it has its house in order before the money starts flowing again.
so it's a two-pronged attack. Investigative pressure from the FBI and DHS, and then direct financial pressure from the executive branch. It's saying your oversight failure is now costing you real money.
What's fascinating here is just how the legal, political, and regulatory worlds have all crashed into each other at the same time. The source material shows a political narrative, born from an independent video, becoming so powerful that it triggers a state review, a citizen-filed criminal complaint, and a serious federal financial freeze.
It's the definition of a clash between the speed of a viral story and the much slower, more deliberate machinery of government trying to get control back. The constant back and forth is the defining feature right now.
It really is. State officials are scrambling to do these extensive reviews to prove their prior checks were good enough. Meanwhile, the people behind the video see their unconventional complaint as a necessary move to hold the highest officials accountable for what they see as, systemic mismanagement.
So what does this all mean? For you listening, you now have a handle on the allegations, the specific legal action against the governor, the official counterclaims from the state, and that big federal intervention. The outcome of that criminal complaint and the federal investigations is going to set a major precedent.
I think the critical takeaway here is the unusual legal path they chose. Remember, that complaint filed by David is targeting the governor for inadequate controls. It's using that statute, 3.971, subdivision 9, not accusing him of direct criminal fraud.
That shift from criminal intent to, I guess, criminal negligence and oversight, that's the whole thing. And for you, the listener, the final thought to consider is this. When does a failure to properly monitor a state-funded program, when does bureaucratic negligence cross the line into a prosecutable offense?
And how might the legal definition of official oversight that comes out of this case end up shaping accountability for all kinds of large state-funded social programs across the entire country?
It really forces you to ask if the highest office should be held personally liable for the administrative failures of the system they oversee.
The outcome of that question will shape public trust for years to come.
Indeed. We'll be tracking the legal and financial fallout very closely. Thanks for diving in with us. We'll see you next time.